All I've heard all Oscar season so far is The Power of the Dog is a must-see movie. And after seeing it, I agree. This is a phenomenally shocking and incredibly deep thematical film that a lot of us are going to be talking about for quite a while and dissecting for the years to come. This is my review for The Power of the Dog. What's going on, buddy? Welcome back to a brand new movie review. Today we're going to be discussing Netflix's brand new original film, The Power of the Dog. This is directed and written by Jane Campion, and it's about a charismatic rancher, Phil Burbank, who inspires fear and awe into those around him. When his brother brings home a new wife and her son, Phil torments them until he finds himself exposed to the possibility of love. Now, this is, of course, an adaptation of a book that I've heard amazing things about. I've never personally read the book, but I've been very excited to see this movie because of all the Oscar prospects in general, just all the good buzz and word of mouth that I've heard about the movie. But I can very much see this movie not being for everyone. This is not a deep Western cowboy movie that you're expecting. This is, again, a psychological torturing drama that deals with all our main characters and the different instances and really much the different accessibilities that they are dealing with during this time in the Old West. And for me, I found that to be just fascinating. This is a movie that kept me on edge the entire way through and in a sense was tormenting me at the same time and making me feel uneasy, which hands down to Jane, because that's exactly what the film makes you feel. So with all that said, guys, if you guys are new here and you love talking movies, then this is really the place for you guys. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, as well as comment down below your guys' thoughts on The Power of the Dog. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you excited about it? Did you read the book? Let's discuss it all down there. So without every review, I love talking about the pros and really much settling in and kind of letting you know what type of movie you are getting into in this one. But if you've seen the movie, then you already know what you got into. Again, this isn't your typical dramatic Western period piece. This is one that absolutely does torment you, and you feel that tormentation all the way through its entire runtime. I felt this fear and terror through the character of Phil Burbank, and one of the big pros of this entire movie is the performances. Benedict Cumberbatch, I've always found to be an excelling and excellent actor. But now for me, after this performance, I think I'm safe to say that he is top 5 actors for me working today. There is not a single performance that I don't believe that he can pull off. He pulls off everything. He can do the big budget stuff like Doctor Strange. He can go and do Lewis Wayne earlier this year. And of course, now he can do Phil Burbank in this movie. And each of those performances are completely different than the last. And I love how Benedict Cumberbatch plays those all off and really much camouflages into those roles. I'll even go as far as to say, I think he's an underrated actor, because when we talk about the best actors working today, I never hear his name, but definitely I will be mentioning his name going forward now. I'm always fascinated with whatever projects he's in, and this project, I mean, the depths that this character goes to. At one part, you just think it's a singular note, but as you start to uncover more behind the layers, there is so much more to him. And one of the other big aspects of this entire movie is Kirsten Dunst, who we haven't really seen in fame for quite a while. I've always loved her as an actress, but man, is this probably her best performance of her entire career. Absolutely storming through, and again, layers to peel back on her character as she interacts with Phil Burbank. Jesse Plemons, of course, is also great as Phil's brother. I wanted a little bit more from his character. I actually think his character is one of the ones that, again, has layers to him, but they never went as deep as they probably could have. Of course, the last name to really mention in here is Cody Smit-McPhee, who I've been a major fan of anytime the kid pops up in. Holy crap, is he great in here. He has a lot of dynamics with Phil Burbank, especially toward the second and third act, and the direction it goes in there is so important to this story. It is unlike anything that I really expected, and even though I expected certain things, it never really went that way. But the way that the director and writing of this all, Jane Campion, was able to really bring this through was one of the best aspects of this entire film. Talking about Jane's directing and writing once again, that is a big and major aspect of this entire movie. The psychological nature she really pours into here, the themes and the messages that it's trying to tell, and as you hear that last part in the synopsis, exposed to the possibility of love. Phil Burbank is a very held back, guarded character that you don't know much about, but as you start to learn more about him, the subtle messages, the subtle secrecy that his character hides, you start to learn that there's a lot more behind the scenes with this character than you saw on eye-level surface. And I don't know if everyone is going to catch these nuances on a watch. Maybe on a rewatch you will, or maybe you never will. But for me, watching this, catching every little aspect of this character and seeing how it can connect and tie in, and in general, really hone in the big message of toxic masculinity. And especially in the Old West during this time, I can't imagine how that was for him. The movie itself sticks its teeth into you and never lets go. It feels like it's under your skin, where once the credit rolls, you just sit there not able to get up or even react. Ever since I left the theater, I can't stop thinking about this film. I constantly think about it. I constantly think of the performances and the nuances and the themes and messages of this, and I just go to myself that I need to see this film again. Crafted with a rhythm and melancholy that is unlike any other movie that I've seen this year, and I think that goes to Campion's full control of the material, and in general, the messages that must be pushed through into this film. Because any other director or writer may have taken the material and been like, okay, I'm going to display it this way, or I'm going to display it this way, and make it more obvious, and speak, and kind of make the audience feel dumb. But you're more rewarded the more time and energy you actually give to this film, and really much tuning into your thought process. Which I think is one of the big aspects of why I love The Power of the Dog so much the more I think about it. But let's talk about my cons. I do feel like this film is a little bit too long, probably about 20 minutes, to the point where I was starting to check my time and look and be like, okay, we still probably got about another 30 minutes, and it does feel that length per se. And I also feel like this movie is not going to be accessible to everyone, and I know a lot of people were maybe saying this was going to be a Best Picture winner. I don't think this one's Best Picture, maybe nominated. I don't see it winning too much, sadly, but I would very gladly like to see that all. Other than that, I think The Power of the Dog is an exceptionally amazing film that will only grow on rewatches. The performances are incredible. Benedict Cumberbatch again proves why he is one of the best actors working today. Kirsten Dunst is absolutely stellar and probably gives her best performance of her entire career. And Jane's directing and writing here is unlike anything I've seen this year. She absolutely should be nominated for Best Director this year. I loved my time with The Power of the Dog. It's a movie I can't get off my mind. It's a one that I want to dissect and dive into a little bit deeper, and it's one that gets under your skin with whether it's certain themes, messages, or even sequences that happen in the film. And for animal lovers, beware, there are a couple moments in here that definitely I had to turn away from the screen for just a couple seconds, because I'm not big to animal cruelty, but this is a harsh film that I think is going to be up a lot of people's alleys, and maybe not up a lot of others. But with all that said, I'm going to give The Power of the Dog an A. Will definitely grow as the more I study it and analyze it. But one of the things that I love about the season is how great, like, I usually see a movie during the season, the Oscar season, I'm like, that was actually pretty good to great, and thankfully this lands in the another great category. This is a fascinating, stellar, and surprising movie that a lot of you guys should go check out, so make some time for it. It's going to theaters this weekend, as well as going to Netflix in a couple weeks, so tune in for that. Thank you once again, guys, for watching this. You guys are seriously the best. I really appreciate all of your guys' time and watching this all the way to the end of the video. If you guys are new here, hit that like and subscribe button. And once again, head on over to Samtron Films on how to see films early. And of course, it's a big thing to you and a big thing to my Patreon supporters, because without you, I would not be able to do this. So of course, until next time, stay classy.